Masturbating at work is a doctor-approved stress reliever. Good evening, folks. It's May 9th, 2018. I'm John Lasota, and you're in the garage. With me tonight, Will Campos. Say hello, Will.
Hey, what's going on?
So, Mark Sargent, a senior lecturer in psychology at Nottingham Trent University in England, says beat-off breaks should be replacing smoking breaks. He claims it would be a very effective at work and a great way to relieve tension and stress. And other psychologists have agreed. They're saying it would result in more focus, less aggression, higher productivity, and more smiling.
Well, from this, I can actually tell that psychologists love to jerk off.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're looking for excuses to give themselves room to do it.
Exactly. They're looking for a way to be okay, with it.
But they did have a study. It comes from studies, from Time Out New York. It's a magazine, They have hey, everybody hang out sessions. We're like, hey, I have no friends. Can you guys tell me somebody to hang out with? And they will go out in groups. Isn't that what they do on that?
I guess so.
Anyway, so yeah, they did a study and they found that 39% of men jerk off at work. 39%.
I don't feel so bad anymore.
You're not alone. Well,
I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Where the hell would they? I guess it would be in the bathroom, no?
I guess. I mean, who knows? It could be at their fucking desk. Who knows? People are sick.
Can you imagine it? Like you're talking to somebody who's right in front of you at a desk, and the guy's actually jerking off while you're talking to him.
Hold on. Horrible. Yeah, but that 39%, that's up from 2012. In 2012, it was 31%. So it's up 8% in the last 6 years of people have jerked off at work. So
these goddamn millennials, man, they're dirty as fuck.
Well, they have shit in their beards, so they're jerking off at work. What are you gonna do? Yeah, but the psychologists though, they say it's a slippery slope because you should never beat it thinking about a coworker because that would make it weird.
Why?
Yeah. If you're allowed to beat off, but you can't think about your coworkers while you're beating off at work, and
because that's sexual harassment,
right? Exactly, and that's a problem. It's all right to jerk off at work. Just think about the person in the cubicle next to you. It might make them uncomfortable. I mean, what do? You're gonna come in, hey, I was just on my jerk off break, and I was thinking about you, baby.
What if it's somebody from another department? Surely that's okay.
I guess. I guess it depends on how often you pass them in the halls. Yeah. But get this. So they figured the stigma in the workplace, the stigma in the workplace about jerking off at work is going away. They're getting rid of the negative stigma of jerking off at work. It's perfectly acceptable now. Almost half of people do it. So this year, the company Hot Octopus started putting masturbation booths across New York City. So Walt, when you're in Manhattan, next time you're in Manhattan, go look for a masturbation booth. You should go ask a cop. Yo, you know where there's any masturbation booths? I heard they got them now.
I'll go out and investigate. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll film people, and I'll go around asking them. Do you know where the masturbation booth is?
Have you guys seen a masturbation booth? I got something that really gonna get out of me. Horrible. But the women, apparently it hasn't disgusted women. They're just pissed off that there aren't any masturbation booths for women.
Well, see, that's the thing. How many women masturbate?
At work? I don't know.
It doesn't go into that. It's like
it's a sexist article.
It's a sexist article,
It's they can flick the bean anywhere.
Yeah. In fact, they should, in order to make this, safe and fair, it should be, they should masturbate just as much.
That's true, at least as much.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they should definitely have masturbation booths for women in New York City.
Exactly. Otherwise,
I really got to get somebody to get me a picture of a masturbation booth. Imagine though, that's like a porta potty, only it's semen.
In other words, it's a porta potty.
Oh, God. Okay.
Only in New York.
Yeah, only in New York. But yeah, no, you gotta get me a picture of one of these things, man. I mean, don't give me a picture of anybody coming out of it. That you could get you killed, man. What are you thinking about picture for?
No, in De Blasio, he's got the whole thing figured out where you have to pay a certain amount to get in. He's probably got you. You got to pay to.
It's leave. Free to go in. Yeah, exactly. It's free to go in. Get free to get out. I mean, what are you gonna do? After a while, you can't sit down. You start looking. You start to slip on the floor. You're like, "Fuck, there's semen everywhere."
So you got to bring your own sanitizer. Then it's the only way you could do this.
How much sanitizer are you gonna bring? What are you gonna fucking bring a fucking van? I mean, if you had a fucking van, you wouldn't need a fucking jerk off booth.
What do you need a jerk off booth in the first place for? This is shit you gotta do at home.
Well, you never know when you're at work in the middle of the day and somebody walks by. You just go, "Oh God, I gotta rip one out."
It's just I don't get it. Like, how are people like, I demand to be able to jerk off outside. Like, why? I mean, why is that a thing? I don't get it. I don't
understand why it's a thing. I don't understand why there's a stigma against it. I don't know. I mean, all I can tell you is when I was in Vegas, right? I used to drive into work on the highway, and the exit that you get off, there was a fucking dude jerking off on the corner every day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he was standing on the corner, like right where you got off, where the cars came by, jerking off every single day.
Wow.
Yeah. So in Vegas, you don't need a booth to jerk off. You're just allowed to do it.
Well, in Vegas, isn't the food cheap? Don't they just want you to go there to gamble? So
yeah, they don't care what happens to the fridges.
Yeah, So, but they're just like, it's on the house. Go ahead.
Now, while it may be perfectly acceptable to jerk off in a sanctioned masturbation booth or at work or on the corner in Vegas, it is not okay to jerk off near a school, much less an elementary school.
Right.
Yeah, a naked perv. He got himself stuck in a fence masturbating near an elementary school. This is in Stratford, Virginia. So he's jerking off, but in the bushes, he's jerking off by the fence, and people call the cops. So they get there. He
could have used a porta potty. He could have used one of those.
I know, right? Yeah, kept him out of trouble. Although I think you got to have him. I'm sure there's a rule. It's like the strip club. You have to have them a certain amount of feet away from the elementary school. It has to be like half a block at least. You can't have the strip club in the same fucking corner as an elementary school. It's going to be on the other.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Yeah. I know. Well, before you used to Larry's. Is it Larry's?
It was right by a school.
There was one that's over there that's like right by a school. Not Larry's. It's a different place in the city by you. Actually, it's not too far from you. Anyway, so this guy, the cops show up, and his legs are stuck in the fence, but he's got no clothes on.
Oh my gosh!
And he's covered from head to toe in scratches from hiding in the bushes. So he was hiding in the bushes, completely naked, like Margot Kidder. And he's fucking ripping them out, watching the little kids run around the schoolyard.
Crazy.
Yeah, so he's facing charges of indecent exposure, masturbating in public, and disorderly conduct. Jerking off in public is disorderly conduct, I guess.
Yeah.
If he was in Vegas, we would have been fine.
or the porta potty or whatever.
Right. You know, the thing is, like, you know what it is? It's not that he got stuck in the fence naked. That's fine. It's that, you know, the fact that he was hiding in the bushes just made it creepy.
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously an ulterior motive if you're hiding in the bushes. But, yeah, that's pretty disturbing.
He's not the worst human being they've heard of, though, today.
Today?
Yeah.
Who's the worst?
So, in England, this chick, obsessed with human sacrifice, she dressed as a clown and stabbed her lover during sex. She's 19-year-old mother in England. She's obsessed with serial killers. So she had her 17-year-old boyfriend, and she asked to tie him up and do kinky things to make things interesting.
Oh my gosh.
He's 17. He's nailing a 19-year-old. You know, he thinks she's hot, I'm sure.
Oh.
And she's like, tie you up, do kinky stuff. And you're like, yeah, of course you can. So she walks in dressed like a clown, and clowns freak this kid out. So he asks her to wipe it off. She's like, she just stands there staring at him like a fucking weirdo.
That is some sick shit.
Yeah. Then she has to put a pillowcase on over his head. And he's like, all right. So she puts the pillowcase over his head, and she stabs him 5 times with a 10-inch knife.
Oh my God.
10-inch knife. It's fucking huge.
That's insane. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she stabbed him 5 times in the chest and thigh. And he got out and he was in his boxers, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing an investigation, and the cops, they find out that she had texted him that her sexual fantasy, get this, her sexual fantasy was of a male being tied up and used as a human sacrifice.
Wow.
Now, like this chick, that I blame him.
Yeah, why do you enable that kind of behavior? Like, why would you date somebody who's that fucked up? Who's into that kind of fucked up shit?
Like she said to you that her fucking fantasy is to tie a man up and have him as a human sacrifice. And then she asked to tie you up dressed like a clown.
You know you're going down.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. What fucking weird people out there, man.
What? How on earth does she think that this is okay? That's what I don't understand. I just don't get it.
Well, at that point, I don't think they're really thinking about much of anything. At that point.
Yeah, I guess.
There's some weird shit, though.
And she's from England, right? And
well, the more and more, man, there's some crazy shit. You know, I mean, I guess it's like anywhere else, but it just seems like some of the really crazy fucking news comes out of there.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's several stories that I was reading from that were fucked up that were coming from England. So
yeah,
we think they're all sophisticated and shit, but nah.
Well, I don't know. I've dated an English woman. One of my best friends, probably the best drinking buddy I ever had. Englishman. Yeah, they're a certain type, man. Like when it comes to work, they're very professional and like, you know. And then when it comes to not being at work, fuck, man, they will do everything. They are like degenerates, like crazy.
It's in the DNA.
But then they're a little sociopathic too. Like everything is like a means to an end with them too. I mean, this has been my experience with everybody that I've known that's from there.
Wow.
Like, yeah, very, very strange.
Yeah, I hear like the pubs over there are always full when after work. Like it's just like a thing they do.
Well, maybe it's in blood or something. I can't really say nothing because, like, when I was in Vegas, I was at the bar every day with my buddy, right? We work together. We would go to work. We'd work late. Hey, you want to go to grab a beer? All right, let's go. We'd go grab a beer, and that's why we used to go to Larry's all the time. That was the strip club.
Oh, okay.
Right, and that was one of the several places we would go. So you'd pick different places, what they were going on there, what mood you're in, that kind of shit. But I enjoy having a beer after work. I think it's the beer of the gods.
It just tastes sweeter. It
does. It does. I think what's in Europe? They have like 6-hour work days or something like that over there.
I think it was like Sweden or something, right?
I don't know. From what I understand, it's part of a lot of the cultures over there that they don't work as many hours as us. I mean, it would be pretty fucking good to, instead of working, you get knocked out of work an hour early, so you can go for happy hour.
Right. And make them work. Right.
There's something therapeutic though about being able, that time when you decompress after work. Like I got kids and I walk in the door and they're all over me, but you kind of need that time. That's why, like, me driving the ride home is kind of a precious thing, but it's only like 15 minutes.
Right.
But you need that time to yourself to not think about work and not have to be responsible. So you just like I don't see like if everybody had time after work to stop into the bar and have a drink with their buddies, and then leave, and then go and do what they had to do.
Yeah,
the world would be a better place. There'd be a lot less angry fucking dudes out there.
Oh, absolutely, because you could let it all out, and you could unwind, and there's tons of uptight people, and hence we have an uptight world. But
if I was the president, I would enact mandatory man time. Mandatory man time.
Yeah, even for women.
Right, exactly. Everyone would get man time.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Really, it's therapeutic though. I mean, just go, you fucking vent out whatever you had to fucking get off your chest. You fucking pound down a beer. That by the time the alcohol kicks in, you're ready to go home and you're relaxed. You got to do something for yourself that day without having to, like, just be all responsible and then go to bed.
Right.
The next day,
Sure. If you can, as long as you can hold your alcohol too, right? Because you don't want, a drink or two is one thing, but like if you drink way too much, you probably won't even make it to work the next day, right? So
I wouldn't know about that. I wouldn't know.
Because God is your co-pilot.
That's right. I don't worry about things like this. These are trivial concepts to me. It's terrible. The only thing is, I wish I could sleep. I mean, like we do these shows and I get exhausted and everything, and then I'll by the time I deconstruct everything down and everything, and then I'm like, then I get wired, then I'm wide awake again. So I'm going to sleep like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Do you still drink a lot of coffee?
I actually really don't, to be honest with you. I kind of cut down a lot of everything. I have 2 maybe cups. Which,
okay, that's
compared to that's like normal compared to what I used to drink, like where I didn't drink anything but coffee or beer.
Right. That was your diet,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that because then you're wired. If you're wired 24/7 at that point. And you end up sleeping because you're bored, not because you're tired. So yeah, man. I mean, if so, you're having trouble sleeping. That's like a thing that's going on right now.
Oh, I always have though. I
Yeah.
I have an overactive imagination. My kids are the same way though. My kids don't sleep either. I don't know, some genetic thing. I guess. Yeah.
I do have something similar that. I've always been kind of like a guy who sleeps like maybe 5 or 6 hours, and not the recommended 8 per se.
Oh, I wish.
So yeah, I mean that would be amazing. But like I work weird hours, so it's hard for me to get 8 hours. You know, it's hard.
Well,
it's hard to get 8 hours in a row like that. It's virtually impossible for me.
It's virtually impossible for most people because there's just too much shit going on. You're overstimulated all the time. So, you know, and that's my problem. I'm overstimulated. But that's why, like, we talked about the sleep portal on the show. Yeah. Where I have some stories. Actually, one of the books that I put out is about a portal where you can go into do whatever the fuck you want. Right. And I would want to have a portal just so I can go sleep. It'd be nice to have you walk into a magic room where you get your 8 hours sleep and you walk out and no time passed. So you get your rest because fuck, I could use that.
That would be amazing.
You want to hear some weird news from England?
Okay.
Some dude almost died from eating his fingernails. Yeah, this guy lived just south of London. He had flu symptoms for like a week. Cold sweat, shaking, you know, then it get real hot, freezingly hot, you know, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the finger that he was biting started to swell up and throb and everything, right? So after like a week of this, they rushed him to the hospital, and he had to spend 4 days in the hospital. And they told him he was lucky to be alive. It turns out if he had stayed one more day, 24 hours more, he would have been dead from biting his fingernails. He got sepsis, which is it's an infection where your immune system starts attacking your body.
Wow.
In England, it kills 37,000 people a year. That's more than people die from guns in the United States. More people die from sepsis in England than fucking people die from guns in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's crazy. Like you know, 37,000 people have to die somehow. So it might as well be from sepsis in England since they can't do it by shooting each other. So
although when you get shot, most people, when you die, a lot of people die from sepsis when they get shot. That's when the bullet doesn't kill you, but pierces something and it fills with all the fluids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. It sucks. And then the immune system gets in there. Oh, horrible. Sepsis. Of all the freaking things that to die of. Imagine that. Imagine just biting your fingernails. You know, I bite my fingernails a lot. I'm nervous, and you just rip off a little bit too much that day. You know? Yeah,
man. I should. You know how I teach guitar to kids, right? Mm-hmm. There's one kid whose mom is constantly yelling at him because he keeps biting his fucking nails.
Yeah.
And I should tell him that story.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. Although I wonder how much he's always biting his nails because she's always yelling to stop biting his nails.
Yeah,
like she, you know what I mean? Like she creates his anxiety in him. That's why he's biting his nails because she keeps getting going. You know what I mean?
It's a circular problem, exactly.
Right.
So that's some crazy shit, man. It's like sepsis.
37,000 people. Fucking nuts. And
England doesn't have that many people. So it's kind of like
I think it's something like 64 million or something like that. But you know what's crazy? They just declared that California is the 5th largest economy in the world. That's how much money goes in and out of California.
I think I heard that recently. Yeah.
I don't want to go into.
Which makes you wonder because they also spend a lot of money, so they're always in debt.
Yeah, so, they're also they're ranked last in quality of life in the United States.
Yeah.
So it is crazy. And I don't want to get political or anything, but that's just that's kind of wild that they we have the #1 economy and they have the #5.
Yeah,
California.
Yeah.
Shit. Another one is
Texas is up there too. Yeah, but people tend to stay there.
Oh, well, there you go.
So yeah. But there's a lot of people leaving California, and I think going to either Oregon or Vegas or Nevada. I think they're headed. A
lot of people do go to Las Vegas from California because, like, if you can live in a bad neighborhood in LA and the houses are still $1 million, it's still expensive. Right. So you could sell a dumpy house in a bad neighborhood for $1 million in LA, and then for $300,000 buy a nice house in a new construction, $400,000 buy a new construction in Vegas, and have $600,000 that you're sitting on.
Right.
And Vegas is not an expensive place to live, so you could do pretty well.
Right.
The only thing is if you have to work out there, work is hard to come by. That's the thing. But if you sell a house for $2 million in Vegas and you spend $500,000 on a new house, you have $1.5 million, you don't have to work again.
Right. Wow. What kind of jobs did you do out there in Vegas?
I worked for a accounting temp firm out there. They would send me to places, and I would fix up the books for the company, and then I would go to the next place and fix up the books for the company.
Yeah.
I worked at I was in a construction unit. It was trade show construction. I built like booths, like if you went to the car show, right?
Oh,
I would
okay.
build booths. I did that at the Vegas Convention Center.
Nice.
I was a manager, an assistant manager at a sporting goods store.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And selling guns and shit like that. And that's why I know a lot of gun laws, because I had to take all those fucking courses so I could do that. I only did that for a few months though, and then for the most part, I was a bookkeeper for and a billing. I worked for a IT company that the owner also owned a restaurant in the same building. So I did the billing for the IT company, and I did the back end management for the restaurant. I ran all the office for the restaurant.
Right.
So that's what I did out there. But the thing is that was just before the economy crashed, and you saw it coming. People there started to be a lot of foreclosures on the houses and everything, and people started getting laid off. Vegas was one of the first places to get hit, and one of the hardest to get hit.
So this was 07-ish, around there?
I came back. I left Vegas December 8th of 2008. What is it? Yeah. It was, and the thing is, with my job, I saw the way the things were going, because there was a lot of shady shit that went on in the place, like a lot of places. But there was a lot of shady shit that was going on. So, and you start to see once you see who people are, and you start to see the patterns of how they act. I was going to school full time at the time, and I was I was working full time, and to get my apartment for the price that I was paying, I had to sign a 15-month lease. And I realistically looked at the situation that was going to work, and I didn't think that it was going to last 6 months, because the restaurant was going out of business. And the guy who was running the place, was not necessarily using money from the proper sources to keep that business going.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying anybody did anything. I'm just saying that,
right.
Things didn't look on the up and up.
Right.
So they start bringing different people in, moving people around, And with me only having half of a function to do at the one place, they wanted me to keep doing it. They would fly me around to teach lawyers how to use the billing functions on the program, because it was like they built an interface for something like similar to what I used in my school, only it was for lawyers. And they would have me go teach people how to do it, how to use it. But yet there wasn't, you could see like things weren't going the way that you would want them to go.
Right.
So I was like, fuck this, and I bounced.
Wow.
Know what I mean?
Wow.
That's when I left Vegas.
Yeah.
I liked Vegas. I wouldn't have left. I really liked Vegas a lot. I loved living out there. Well, in Vegas, if you have a job and you have a couple of friends, you could have a really good time.
Wow.
You would love it. You could when you go to the you could just walk up to a stripper and pick her up. Like
those are the important things in life, right?
Hey, when you're a single dude, they are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, isn't it like legal over there?
Not
like outside of Vegas, right? Yeah. Outside of Vegas.
Outside of Vegas, it is. Yeah. There was a chick that lived on my 2 doors down from it. I'm pretty sure she was one. But at the same time, though, I'm pretty sure that the Russian mafia was running strippers, running prostitutes or mail order brides through the complex that I was living at in Vegas. I'm almost positive. There's always there's always young girls in bikinis at the pool, and this was a place was a dump, But there's always young girls in bikinis, and they were never the same ones.
Wow. Yeah, that says a lot right there.
Yeah. Like this was not like a hotel. This was not like Airbnb. This is before all that, freaking
Right,
this was not a
right.
nice area. There was hookers on the fucking corner.
Can you imagine now with all that stuff, with the internet and all that?
I wonder. I haven't been back there in 10 years. So I wonder what it's like.
Yeah, it's had to have changed a bit, right?
In Vegas, 5 years is like ancient. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I might as well have been there fucking 50 years ago. It's the same thing.
Wow.
There's a bridge in Scotland where dogs go to kill themselves.
On purpose or?
Well, there's a place that's Overton Bridge in somewhere in Scotland over there, and dogs, they keep going to the same spot and throwing themselves off. And nobody really knows why, but it keeps being the same side. Some people think there's ghosts there, so they're chasing the ghosts, and other people think there's like little animals that hang out on the bridge and they try to get them, right? But they
lemmings.
Yeah, right, but it's always in the same spot, right? And they said like five of them, 50 dogs just have killed themselves in the same spot since 1950, and 5 of them in 2005 alone. But they said that 600 more jumped and lived, and then ran back up to do it again.
So there's something adventurous about it, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but it causes long nose breeds have the biggest problem with it, like German Shepherds with the long snout.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I think it is that because all the Scottish dog fuckers, that's where they go to end it.
My gosh, I don't know what to say about that. I mean,
we've done a bunch of articles about dog fuckers, and they seem to all be in Scotland, except for the only one that wasn't in Scotland was one last week or 2 weeks ago when they built the chamber to do it.
Maybe they're so messed up, and they just want to end it all because they're so they've been treated so horribly for so long that they're like,
what do I do? There's dog fuckers anywhere. I'm going to jump.
Wow.
Yeah. Dog fuckers everywhere. I'm going to jump.
That should be a T-shirt.
Yeah. Unlike the dog that they built the chamber for, who had the smile on his face, because of his connection with his master. These dogs, they were not happy. They did not have a chamber to get nailed for a double team.
Wow. You know what they used to say that they would do it over a cliff, right? With the I think with sheep, right? They would fuck sheep over a cliff so that the sheep would be forced to push back, so that it would make it look like there was there was some sort of.
I thought that the story.
It's so that it was consensual, right?
Oh, okay. That's okay. All right. I hadn't heard that. That's horrifying.
That is horrifying.
What I was thinking of that really had nothing to do with it is that they supposedly put their feet in boots. They get oversized boots, and they put the feet in boots so that they can't kick them while they're doing it. Like they, you know what I mean? Like they put the sheep's feet in the same boots as they're wearing, so they're both wearing the same shoes together, so it can't kick out because they're wearing the boots together. You can't get away.
If these people would just use their intellect for good and not evil, not dog raping. The world would be such a better place. It's just mind-boggling to me.
What's mind-boggling to me is how many times we talk about dog raping.
Yeah, what's up with that? We're like Dog News Central, DNN.
It's pretty horrible. The only thing is, we don't really get into crazy. I mean, like the stuff that could be a political thing, for reasons of divide. I don't want to divide audience members. I don't want to lose audience members for, you know what I mean?
I don't want to do that either. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But like every day in the paper, literally every single day, I read about a teacher molesting a student, having sex with a student in their car, fucking, running away to Mexico with a student every single day.
Right.
There's teachers everywhere, like banging their students left and right. And you're talking like I'm talking about junior high school kids, and the teachers are like 28, and it's the teacher's the 28-year-old woman, and the boy's the junior high school kid.
Yeah. I mean, that's sad. That makes you wonder, like maybe I don't know if it's a subconscious thing for them to become a teacher in the first place, or is it a conscious thing? I don't know.
It could be that there's just a lot of degenerates out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, really. I mean, fuck. What possesses somebody to fuck a dog? What possesses the fucking to get somebody to fuck a dog while that dog is fucking his wife?
Yeah, that's some really fucked up shit. I don't know. These kind of people, you have to study these people. That's the funny thing is you can't just kill them off. You got to invite them in. Just like, hey, buddy, you know.
How are you gonna kill off a whole state, man? Some places that's just Saturday night.
Yeah. That's you should make it into a competition, right? You know, and see who does it the best. The cream rises to the top.
The cream rises. At least the cheese strip does. Horrible.
Disturbing shit.
Well, you know, it makes the world go round. Yeah, a lot of crazy things. That we didn't talk about this one, but you watch hockey at all?
Not that much, no. Not in a long time.
There has been a league-wide edict for this guy Brad Marchand. They're telling him to stop licking and nuzzling players. He's been licking people. Like, he'll skate up to a guy on the ice and he'll lick him right full on in the face.
Yeah, he wants to piss him off, I'm sure.
Well, he licked the guy. Yeah, the news people, he licked the guy's cheeks. Of course, definitely. But I mean, that would probably enrage you. If some dude walked up to you and licked you in the face, you'd probably lose your mind.
Right.
You know, but they asked him. He's like, they asked him why he did it. He said that he thought the other guy wanted to cuddle, so he would just want to get close to him. He said he's trying to get close to me, so I don't know if he's got a thing for me or what, but I think he's cute.
I think he's trying to pull one of those Muhammad Ali things on these other players.
The thing is like this one, it's in one of our backlog stories for like a while ago. So this happened like a couple of weeks ago that they basically issued a statement where he has to stop it, and then he did it again afterward. He did like a week ago, like 3 days ago, something like that.
Right.
He did it again in a playoff game. You know, and he did it to Callahan, who used to be the captain of the Rangers, licked him right in the face. So now they basically issued the a warning to the coach that if he does it, you know.
Yeah.
Licking players.
That's fucked up. That's like there was a guy on the Uruguayan soccer team, the national team, in the World Cup 4 years ago, and he was going around biting people.
Was he biting the nuts?
I think he was biting them on their arms and whatever. But yeah. His name was Suarez. Yeah.
That's got to be hard because like these guys are running around, but they're like not even really like running next to each other. I mean they do, but like even when they do, they fucking take each other's legs out and stuff. Like to be running full speed in a soccer match and bite somebody. like the logistics of that.
Yeah. The guy would get close enough, or they'd be battling for the ball, and the next thing you know, I mean, the guy would get pissed off and he would just bite the guy on the shoulder or bite the guy.
What if he bit somebody, right? And they tangled feet and tripped? He'd like rip a chunk out. Probably.
I mean, this guy probably grew up watching Mike Tyson and
I don't know,
Evander Holyfield or something.
That's not right. I mean, it's bad enough to bite somebody. That's sick, but biting them while you're running, that's just irresponsible. It's just not safe.
It's definitely not safe.
I mean, do what you're into. I mean, if you're into some shit, do it. But I mean, don't be fucking dangerous about it.
You might get sepsis, right? So
exactly. What if you got sepsis playing soccer and you fucking drop dead?
Yeah.
You go to Mr. Soccer next week's game. He says, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to go. But, you figure you'd be on the field the next day. And the next day you're dead because someone fucking bit you playing fucking soccer, running.
I mean, think about this, though. I mean, it's obviously a competitive thing because so-and-so has to resort to biting because they don't have the upper hand, right? So look at Tyson and Evander Holyfield all those years ago.
Yeah.
He lost the first fight. The second fight, he's getting his ass kicked, so he resorts to biting, right?
My brother Ringo's a biter.
He's a big guy. He's too big to be a biter. Why is he biting?
Right? He's a big dude to be biting people. No, and he has a fucked up. One time he's like bigger than me. He leaned over and like bit me in the back of the fucking head. Like was like latched onto the back of my fucking head. I'm lucky I didn't get sepsis. In fact, I think I did get sepsis. I had a spot in my eye for like 3 weeks afterwards.
Oh my god.
That was the infection settling in.
What was the issue? Like, why would he do such a thing?
Who knows? He's like a little bit of a nutbag, though. Like, he hears things that have nothing to do with what anybody said, right? So, I remember it was one time I walk in and I walk into the house and something with the Knicks, right?
Right.
And like I said something about the Knicks game, and he like went off. He answered like a completely different fucking thing. Like he the words that came out of his mouth were an answer, but they were an answer to a completely different statement, the one that I made. Right? And I'm like, Ringo, that's not what I fucking said. And he attacks me.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is a sports fanatic right there.
I'm pretty sure he bit me that time too. I'm pretty sure that time he bit me on the thumb and I couldn't close my thumb for like a week.
He's the baby in the family, you can tell.
Yeah, that's one way of saying it.
He was definitely the one that was born last.
Man, some fucking crazy shit in the world. But at least it's not jerking off in the fucking elementary schools in the bushes.
Well, now we know you could do it in New York.
Well, right. I mean, if you're gonna do it, be civilized. Do it in the fucking masturbation booth.
Exactly. De Blasio wants you to jerk off in a booth.
Yeah, it's amazing though. Like, they have masturbation booths in New York City, and the University of Utah. They have cry closets.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they install those in Utah, small rooms with narrow, dark lined walls, and they have plush floors, and they leave stuffed animals in there so that you could cuddle. They're meant for students for taking finals, so they could take a 10-minute break.
Can you imagine what that's like? I mean, can you imagine like being right next door to that kind of craziness?
Well, like I don't know, but they get killed on Twitter. People talk how pathetic they are, and how many cry closets do you think they have in the real world? Although I have to tell you though, if they had cry closets at work, people would also be a lot more focused and functional, just like the jerk off people that jerk off at work. Because sometimes at work you feel like crying. Most people feel like that when they first walk in.
Yeah, that's a good point because you notice that you work in an office, right? So I do that once a week, and they have an assortment. I mean, like just like an assortment of junk food in front of you, and so you get frustrated. And so, what's the first thing you do? I got to change my state. So you grab that donut that's like
you're bored doing the same
table.
thing.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe that would be more productive than grabbing a fucking donut. That's for sure.
You know why they couldn't though? You know why they couldn't?
Why?
All the fucking dudes would be jerking off in the fucking cry closet.
That's true.
All these fuckers jerking off at work, jerking off in the cry closet.
Don't mistaking it for a booth.
Exactly. The booths are outside, buddy. That's a cry closet. Now that really is a cry closet. You go in and cry. You fucking lay down on one of the stuffed animals. He's got fucking jizz all over his fucking face. You're holding Teddy, and he's got fucking jizz on him. You're right rubbing fucking nut on your face.
Oh my gosh!
Now you are crying.
Now you're definitely crying.
Yeah.
Now you got something to cry about.
Now you got something to cry about. You change, you filthy animal. Horrible.
Oh my gosh.
On that note, I think it's a good time to cut out. You have any last words?
Jerk off in a booth.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, jerk off in the booth, not in the bushes.
There you go. Our next T-shirt.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. Jerk off in the booth, not in the bushes. I like that. Anyway, so yeah, you can check us out on Mad Team C, the garage. The garage. That's there's so many people that have the garage. We're so much different. We're the garage.
We're the garage.
Yeah, but check it out, YouTube and SoundCloud if you want the audio download. Also, check out some of my books on Amazon. VPI, The Saga Begins, A Loaded Portrait, and The Beer Whisperer. So check those out. They're pretty good, and we could use the money. So have a good night, folks.
Good night.